everybody. Welcome to ICC's Game of the Week with your host, as always, Joel Benjamin. There were a number of interesting stories at the 2016 Gibraltar Masters. Hikaru Nakamura showed he knows how to turn it on at the end of a Swiss system tournament, taking first after a playoff with Maxime Vachier-Lagrave. Vishy Anand struggled mightily, suffering two upset losses, one to 16-year-old Benjamin Gledura, and drawing several games, including one with American IM Marc Esserman, who also defeated Nigel short in the tournament. Etienne Bacrot, himself a former prodigy, quietly had a strong tournament, placing third with 7.5 points. In this week's featured game, he fared rather better than Anand against another 16-year-old, Aryan Tari of Norway. A cutting-edge, lightly traveled opening variation gave rise to highly tactical play that resolved relatively quickly and brutally. All right, let's have a look. Tari has already won, at his young age, the Norwegian Championship. I don't think that Magnus played in it, but it's still a pretty good accomplishment. So Bacrot opens e4, and we get a Caro-Kann. And I think Caro-Kann is probably a little bit underrepresented in Game of the Week. Of course, it has a little bit of reputation as a drawish opening. I think when we see it, probably it's going to be advanced variation or maybe a counter attack. But here, Bacrot plays knight c3 and knight f3. If you're a Caro-Kann player, one thing that you really want to know is that the main reason for this move order, rather than d4, is that it discourages black from playing the bishop f5 line like so, because white is going to go after the bishop like this and then knight e5, and white is going to play more useful moves in d4 and hit f7 quickly, and that this could run black into some trouble. So therefore, the main move for years has been bishop g4. And that's considered to be not really any problems for black, but after h3, the main move is to take on f3, and of course this gives white the bishop pair. Nigel Short once wrote about this. Why don't people take this opening seriously when everybody loves the Queen C2 Nimzo Indian, which was popular at the time, where white grabs the two bishops in the opening? So that's not for everybody. And the alternative bishop h5 is very interesting, but there's a sharp line involving ed and g4 and bishop e5 check. It's very tactical, and black often has to sacrifice something. So it's a real commitment to play that. Well, all this is a bit of a preamble to what Tari played, and it's the move knight f6. And I have to admit that until a couple of weeks ago, I didn't even know this is a variation. I just never seen anybody play knight f6 in this variation. After e5, well, if the knight goes to d7, as in a French defense, the move c6 obviously isn't very helpful for black. He needs to attack the center with c5, so he can find himself a tempo down on the French. But the plan here is to drop the knight into e4, sort of like a floor Mykonos variation, except the pawn is on c2 instead of c4. Now, after knight e4, if you try this at home, a very plausible move, it would certainly be d4. Black then generally takes, and here has to make a decision to try to get the bishop outside the chain while I'm setting up a light square pawn structure with e6, or do I play e6 more in the style of a French followed by c5? It's a little safer, but maybe less ambitious because your bishop gets trapped in. The engine seems to favor e6 for what it's worth. Both moves have been